What's up, guys? Patch here, 1878 Casuals, joined with the usual suspects, our man English, our man Madface Casey Gale, and
Happy holidays.
Happy Boxing Day.
returning customer Pops the Gaffer, Andy over here, talking today about something that's got most of us United fans fuming, as we thought it was all but a done deal. Cody Gakpo to the Scousers. What the fuck happened there?
Well, Van Dyke,
Say again.
I said Van Dyke got to him.
You think that's what happened?
Well, I mean, I think that's part of it. It's one thing, that Tanner Haig was his boss, but you got a teammate on the squad there talking to you, and he goes, you do better to come to Liverpool than go to United.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, obviously, Boxing Day. Happy Boxing Day to those of you out there who knows what Boxing Day is, and it's not about boxing, but anyway.
Yeah.
And definitely welcome to Patch's old man, Pops. Welcome, my friend. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Same.
I agree. I mean, he's on the squad. They're having a chat. He's talking about where should I go to the Premier League? How much money am I going to make? Who's winning games? Who's winning titles right now? And the last couple of years, I mean, I hate to say it, but obviously the Scousers have been ahead of us, haven't they? And he's a young lad, obviously with a great future ahead of him, hopefully. And he's going to go where the money is and where the trophies are. Unfortunately, it's obvious. And I want to bring up a point that one of our subscribers put in our YouTube comments, which is what I've been saying all along. The Glazers will sell when they're ready to sell and when they get the price they want to get. I mean, I watched the link regarding the valuation of Manchester United, which I found fascinating, very, very interesting. And the guy obviously knows what he's talking about. Very, very good. And it's an eye opener. But again, at the end of the day, United are in debt, but until we're in debt to the point where we owe more than we're worth, the Glazers will do what they want with us. And I hate to say it, and I know we're all emotional, and of course, because it's our team we love. But they're in business; they don't give a shit about us. They don't, it's like you watch any of these reality shows about flipping houses. Don't be emotional about your house. It's a business. That's what it is. They don't care. And until they want to sell or have to sell, we're going to be broke.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep. I think you're right.
You wonder about also, I mean, and maybe this is crazy talk, but it would make sense to me that we would spend some money on some players. You get top players into the club, it drives the value of the club up and makes it more appealing to investors or potential buyers, whichever way you want to skin it. But having somebody like Gakpo obviously would boost our value, because he's a top player, young lad, bright future ahead of him. Although now he's at the Scousers, I hope he breaks his leg and is out for 6 years. But I'm just kidding, or am I? But
8 years.
Yeah. But but someone brought up another good point saying, obviously, like we said, Gakpo's a great player, bright future, but his primary position is on the wings. And, I kind of feel like we're already sorted on the left wing. We got Rashford or we got Garnacho, and a lot of people would personally see Garnacho develop rather than bring in Gakpo. So there's definitely a point there. I mean, I think we would rather have just an out and out striker rather than somebody who's a winger who could play striker.
Well, I mean,
all of the above.
Yeah, I agree.
What happened to us? Our books got exposed. Everybody saw how much money we have available, how much cash we have available, how much credit we have available. I said that PSV is going to want, they said a record FIFA was going to be more than 44 million. PSV wanted exactly $44 million cash at the least for this kid. Liverpool was able to offer them maybe like $50 million cash. We only can offer $24 million in cash. We only have $100 million in credit. Nobody wants to deal credit business when they can get cash when you can get $50 million from Liverpool. We were all having stuffing and relaxing and having dinner. Liverpool made business happen. Our Glazers are residual. What'd you say, Patch? Residual fucking. It's continuing. We're broke. Everybody's talking about Bellingham. Where are you going to get $150 million cash from the Glazers to get Bellingham? We need owners now. We're in trouble. It's bigger than we could ever imagine. We need this team to be sold now. The Glazers are going to take the most money possible. So it's going to go to whatever the length is going to take. They might wait till the day before. But in the meanwhile, whoever's up in there, John Hurt, whatever these fuckers are who are director of football and our people, they all need to go. They're all useless. They're not doing shit. They're not creative enough to make deals happen. Liverpool just had the cash. That's all it was. PSV is like, oh, you can give us 50 million cash? Fuck Manchester United and that $24 million. Sorry.
I thought he wanted
The
75.
kid is not loyal. The kid said he wants to play in the Premier League. That's all he said. He turned down Leeds. We got lucky.
I thought they wanted 75 for him initially.
We have 24 million cash to offer. Scousers have 50.
You know what we've got, but I thought they were asking 75 for him.
I thought it was going to be
get in a conversation for $75 million cash.
You know?
I thought I read they got him for 37 million.
Wow.
Plus 13
we
million.
got $24 million cash to offer.
Yeah, whatever they got him for, they got him, didn't they? I mean, the problem
Yeah.
is also you're talking about, when we
Embarrassing.
buy this player, we buy that player, and they smoke and mirror it as they're investing in the club. Look, if you're going to sell your house, right, your realtor comes to your house and says, well, you need to change this, you need to change that if you want to get this much money for it, right? Right now it's worth this. If you paint the outside, it's worth this much. Right? So that's what the Glazers are doing. Every now and then they make a little investment, they make a little buy because it's in their benefit to whoever they're borrowing money from goes, oh, wait a minute.
The best we can do is a loan deal.
Right, they borrow more because they've just made a little investment in the club. That's what it's all. It's simple as that. That's why they're investing money in the club because they get more out of it by what they put in. Right, it's like I'm sure marketing when you sell a bottle of wine. Right, what do you do? A lot of people who don't understand wine, they look at the label. Right, okay, so the label's exactly right. So you go to a designer, you design a label you think it's going to be appealing. Right, look at the names of some of these new wines now. That's what it is. It's marketing. It's just business. They don't give a shit. They're not football fans. They're not American football fans. They're not sports fans. They're money fans. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. You're not wrong.
Yeah, and speaking of wine, you're talking to the wine guy right here, Jason.
That's right. That's why I brought it up because I thought it would be quite an analogy. You know what I mean? It's smart. So kind of big on Brighton on English.
Yeah. So, Dad, who do you go ahead?
No, I was just going to say, so if we don't get him, which we're not, which frankly is okay with me, he was not going to be our savior, who do we get?
Yeah, that's the question.
Everybody else is $100 million.
Felix got.
Well, I think the problem is depth. Like we've been saying, it'd be nice to have him, for the depth. I think, number one, to agree with Casey right before I forget, absolutely, the in-house has got to be cleaned. We've got to have people that know their job. Like Gary Neville said, you let football be done by the footballers, right? And you let business be done by the businessmen, right? And then let the people who understand marketing do their thing.
Well,
it's a devil, be careful, what you wish for. We created this monster in the first place, the marketing, everything else. United was led the way, and now it's biting us on the ass. We need to sort out our centre and our back before we worry about any more forwards, in my opinion. All right, we've got attacking forward, we've got some attacking talent. We need to shore up the back because we're not.
Hey, Patch, in our financial situation, do you think it's possible to do anything in January?
I mean, I think if the Glazers really wanted to, they could pull something out of their ass, but at what cost? You know what I mean?
It's going to cost them, though. It's going to cost them because it's got to come out their ass because the club books are exposed.
Yeah.
That whole thing, the video we just saw with the Swiss Humble or Babel, that's why I was like, everybody needs to watch this video.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Pop? Something?
Yeah, sorry, Pop. I'm emotional.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, we need to focus on who we're going to get and how we're going to do it. And, we're 4 days away from the new window. And I mean, is there any other rumors that I don't know about who we're after apart from Felix, if anyone?
It'd be a loan deal, but
yeah, I mean,
cities liking him.
I've heard about the Goncalo Ramos kid from Portugal, who and I've also heard of Enzo Fernandez, who's at Benfica. So I've heard those two guys, but
how much do they cost?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure after the World Cup that Ramos had, they're going to want some stupid number for him. And I'm sure same thing with Enzo Fernandez, because now he can hang the World Cup winner over his head, which is going to drive his price up a cool 20, 30, probably 40 million fucking pounds.
Yeah, we don't typically too much in January.
I think sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
It's pretty critical that you know, as we've said before, we get the team already. What's happening with Newcastle, for instance, that the Arabs have bought, and those guys are all of a sudden performing. It's the same team. They're all of a sudden performing because they smell the money.
Yeah, I think
they were owned by Mike Ashley. They're going, well, this guy's not going anywhere, you know. And all of a sudden, the Arabs come in and they give them a whole bunch of money, and they go, oh, there's a future here.
They've also got, and this is nothing against our manager. I think he's fantastic. I love what he's doing. But Eddie Howe's a good manager too. You know, he's got when you've got
he's organized.
Right, when you've got belief and support, when you believe in yourself. Look at Leicester when they came up and won the league, right? No one would have put money on that, but they believed in themselves. They're a team. You know, United traditionally we don't do much in January anyway. Whether we're successful or not, when we're on top, we still don't really do much in January. You know, in the history, we're not a January transfer team. But yeah, but the money's there, money's not there. I agree, we've got to be sold, but at this point, we're not being sold. So we need to, as a football club, worry about football. And
they got us by the nuts.
The guys on the pitch have got to perform. We've got to do more with the youth right now. If we've got nothing out there to buy and bring in, we've got to develop our youth, which we have to do anyway, right? We can't keep buying players. Oh, his guy's going to go and win us this. We're going to win us that. We've got to be a team, right? And I think our manager is leading us in that direction. I think he will see his real character as a manager and as a leader in the next half of the season, because he's going to have to bring these guys together, you know, develop them as a team, because obviously all the shit outside, and as our man and I know especially well what the press is like in the UK, it's going to be burying them any chance they get to talk shit, especially about United. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you know, yeah, I hope he can rise to the occasion. I believe he can. I mean, I know we're all behind him, and you know, but. The only thing is, the awful thing to say is if we win something, Glaciers aren't going to want to sell us because they're going to be worth more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like true. Success makes it better for them.
That's right. Well, you know, Pat, you know, we talked, you know, 6 months ago, and I said to you, this is going to be a 2 or 3 year project, you know, and we're 6 months, you know, into it, whatever. And it doesn't happen overnight. We're going in the right direction, most importantly. And, you know, we've talked about this before that, you know, we're talking about games now. And there's a lot of games a year ago that we said, geez, God, I don't know that we can beat these guys at the bottom of the table. You know, and now I think for the most part, I say we should win these games. Nottingham Forest, we should win. But a year ago, I said, I don't know. It depends which team shows up.
Yeah.
I remember the days when Nottingham Forest would be a challenge for us, though, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I agree, Pop. I definitely think we're going in the right direction, and we've talked about this before a bunch on the channel, where we're definitely starting to see some consistency, and we're starting to see an identity, and we're starting to see a team, and Ten Hag is definitely doing something special, and which I think we can all get behind. But you know, as with managers before that we've had, if they're not given the proper tools, then they have no shot. So it's just kind of, I suppose it's just a little bit of PTSD where, you know, the last couple of years we've been looking at players and someone else snaps them up. And so I guess it was just really shocking to see, oh, Liverpool signed Gakpo. Where the fuck did that come from? Like, I didn't even know they were interested in Gakpo. And then, you know, they get it done in who knows how many days.
Well, I mean, when David Gill left and Ed Woodward came in, and thankfully he's gone now. I mean, you know, that fucked it all up. You know, these guys couldn't pull off a transfer deal right now in the last year or two. And it seems like they're still in that mode.
Well, I think also a lot of the clubs with money, but they may not be interested in somebody per se, but they don't want. It's like I got more money than you. I don't want you to have him, so I'm going to buy him. You know, if he's going to play for us, so he doesn't play for you, kind of deal. Sure, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just a heads up. You know, the money that's going to get pumped into Bournemouth now that those guys have bought them. You know, let's see what happens there when it comes to money. But you know,
always the money.
Yeah, we also forget. You know, he's not been with us very long. We took Fergie 4 years, and we were about to fire him before he started. You know, and you've. You know, like anything, you know, again, the wine analogy, you know, when you start with that vineyard, you know, you've got you plant your seed or whatever, and you've got to cherish it, love it. You don't have a vintage, do you, after your first year? I mean, it takes forever. Right. So I mean, those boys, the Beckhams, the Scholes, the Nevilles, they were developed. They come up through the class of '92. And a lot of people fell by the wayside. So I think he's just got to get his head down. If he's really up for the challenge and he wants to challenge like he seems to do, and he's just got to go with what he's got, and you can't blame your tools. You've just got to get on with it. And if we get sold, hopefully we will, and hopefully we get sold to someone who wants to invest in us as a team again. We don't know who's going to buy us yet. It might be even bloody worse. God forbid.
Right.
It might be. It might be.
As far as I'm concerned, Ten Hag is already the third greatest manager in Manchester United history. The man is brilliant. His in-game tactical awareness is probably, I don't know who's better than him right now. His eye to find the right player for his situation is brilliant. Everybody he's brought in has been brilliant, except Donnie wasn't his bring in for some reason. I can't explain that kid.
What happened?
Everybody, as far as I'm concerned, if there's new owners, everybody involved with Manchester United should be fired, except Ten Hag. And I think he should be part of who would you like for a general manager? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's something he wants to do, but the man is, in some ways, I'm super positive, like for the future. And then I'm like, we got to get sold because Newcastle's is second. I don't see them going anywhere. I don't see City going anywhere. I don't know what's going on with Chelsea, fuck them. But I don't see, I feel like the Scousers are in a spot where we are right now. They need a new ownership too, but if they get Gakpo, they get in debt because they're giving up on Nunez. That's all that's saying. They're like, no, this dude, something's not right.
Frankly, I think the Scousers are in a bit of a decline. Klopp, I don't think, has got more than a year or two to go.
I feel you, Pops, but they have shown their board has been able to make good decisions versus ours, and we're sitting back waiting for some greedy sons of a bitches to get paid. And I feel like we're in a transition right now where we need to back Ten Hag now because he wants to chase.
Well, I agree. I think we also owe him a debt that he's actually prepared to stick around with all the bullshit that's going on. I mean, at the end of the day, I wouldn't blame the man if he's wait a minute. Well, I got sold to something.
Awesome.
He
said quietly, new owners are going to be exciting. He said that quietly, like, "Oh, I can't wait for new money." He's like, "I can't wait for new ownership."
Right.
I was like,
"Yeah, we hope." Again, we hope because you look at everybody out there that's buying football clubs right now. They're buying.
2 weeks ago, our owner said they're still looking for investors.
Yeah, but
they said that 2 weeks ago.
We're looking at business. No one's a football fan, right? You look at the people who founded the clubs back in the days. They were all, guys that love football. They started to develop business out of it. But they all love football. So I think we got to thank the guy for sticking around because I'm sure that he's not getting what he was promised, like they all were. I think what he's done at the best is he's developing the guys believe in themselves. They're enjoying football. Like I've said all along, when you watch the teams that are enjoying playing football, they're winning. Doesn't matter if they're the most expensive players or whatever. City, the Newcastle,
you can tell
when they're enjoying the game, when they're playing the game, even like kids in the park, the best team is always the one that's enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Right, their mates kicking it right, and it develops and it grows, and he's bringing that back to United, which is fantastic.
Yep, you can tell. You can tell when you watch. You can tell. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If he can insulate them from all the bullshit, one of the great things that Fergie did, apart from obviously his tactical ability, was he insulated those boys from all the garbage outside. That was the biggest thing that he did, I think. He kept them from all the press, all the bullshit. When Beckham came home for the World Cup, he put his arms around him. He protected them. They're his boys. And I think that's what Ten Hag can do. Fuck the Glazers, fuck the new owners. Honestly. All right, we need it. Yeah, I understand. But right now, we've got to worry about football on the park, scoring the goals, and staying to Manchester United. And I think that by proving that we're Manchester United on the pitch, which is in here, right, everything else will come into place. I pray.
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting that obviously Liverpool are up for sale and they're still buying players. So I don't want to hear no bullshit about Glazers are selling the club, so why would they buy players? I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, well, we all know what I think about Liverpool, don't we?
We all think the same way, but they're in a better financial situation than us, and they got better management than us. Obviously, they got more cash than us available. So that's all that is. I mean,
better
kid,
things.
the kid and our gaffer have the same agent. That's easy, negotiations. It's one man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's one man thinking like, what's better for my client?
Well, also, don't you think that's
Liverpool.
also, I think, a big negative in the game right now? I'm sure your dad will agree with me, but I mean, back in the day, there was the only guy that had an agent was the guy that bought on the oranges at half time, wasn't it? I mean, all.
Yeah, you gotta let that. Yeah, them days are done.
That's true in sport. The agents are just a pariah.
Exactly.
They
I mean,
are.
I mean, that's why we didn't get Fergie didn't want Eden Hazard because he didn't want to pay the $3 million agent fee.
Right.
But you're gonna buy it's what it is. It's what it is.
right.
One thing you can say about Fergie is that he looked after his boys, but he was a tough son of a bitch, and he didn't take shit from him either. And if they went out of line, he slapped them back into place.
Something tells me that this young'un wasn't put in his place when he steps across the line when he was growing up, because he wouldn't have turned out the way he did otherwise. So, when they call it tough love, what was it, my old man? You say to me, "It's my job to be your father, not your friend."
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right. So, I mean, you spoil the grandkids, don't you?
It's my job. I said to him, it's my job, pal, to get you to 21 and keep you out of jail.
At 22, call your friends for bail. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. How old was I when I first? No, anyway.
Well, and that's another thing that we can see in Ten Hag a little bit is kind of echoes of Fergie, where he seems like he would be, smacking those boys into line if they stepped out of line, and he's not. Doesn't seem like one to put up with bullshit. But what's that?
Well, the Ronaldo thing, obviously, and Pogba too. I'm so fucking glad he's gone.
Oh, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Worthless.
I blame him for the downfall and the crumbling of the dressing room in Old Trafford. I think he was the poison inside.
No question about it. Yeah.
Absolutely wrong.
I'm sick of people telling me that. No, he's a great talent, and watch what he can do. Well, okay,
he's a piece of shit.
Years there, and they never showed it.
Yeah.
One goal in 5 years that impressed me. Not enough.
I shouldn't say that's negative.
No, there's a reason Fergie sold him in the first place.
Yeah.
Listen, Paul Pogba was the destruction of Manchester United Football Club. I'm going to go ahead and say that. And anybody who supported him, they supported the player over the club.
Yeah, he destroyed that dressing room. Our whole culture. I mean, Lukaku said when he went to Italy, he said that the dressing room because of Pogba was just awful.
He had a blessing to play Juventus with two great midfielders who hit all of his imperfections. And Fergie was right. Again, don't fuck with him. And that's all that is. I can't. I've never been more disappointed with a purchase in my life. Yep. And I didn't really buy it.
Especially for the money we paid, yeah.
Those wages? Jesus.
Yeah.
He literally had 5 good games, I think, in his career for us.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, don't need any more of that.
And then it was hurt 3 months in Dubai training, come back, play 2 good games. Oh, another knock, out 3 months.
Yeah.
They played us. They played us. Yep.
Yeah. Well, so now the question becomes, circling back to it, if we're going to do any business in the January window, who do we go for? I think we all can agree that we need an out and out number 9 or a front man or a striker or somebody like that. So, and obviously cash or money seems to be an issue for us currently. So, who's available? Who do we go for? And I love the kid from Napoli. I love Victor Osimhen, but that's going to cost us $100 million. I love Gonçalo Ramos, who played for Portugal. What's that? He's going to be he's probably going to be another $100 million. Joao Felix is going to be a loan, probably, if we do go for him, which means we're sorted for 5-6 months, and then we're back to where we started in January, in the summer, and then we try to go out for a striker in the summer, and that should be a priority signing. Maybe by then the club will be sold, and maybe not. So it seems to kind of be in limbo at the moment, but
unless we make enough noise as supporters and they do a spur buy like Casemiro, where they had to come out the money and come out with cash to get Casemiro. That's the only thing we could do. If we make enough uproar, and I think the right people will do it, scare the Glazers a little bit, let them come out the pocket. Their pocket for like 50 million plus a 24. We could get somebody.
Yeah.
Casey is just conferring with his agent there. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just
No, dude, because that's what happened with Casemiro. The Casemiro deal was done in like 2 days. And we're
Yeah.
like, how did this happen? Because we had an uproar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Because they're going
Exactly.
to get that little dude.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to spend any money in January.
So we're fucked.
I really don't.
Well, I think if anything, something tells me if we do get somebody, it'll be Joao Felix on a 5 or 6 month loan. We'll pay him stupid wages, and then we'll just kind of be back to where we started in the summer.
But let's not get lost in the weeds here. You know, we're in 5th place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
We got 2
You're
games. Right. We can be in 3rd place if we win both these games. You know, we can do top 4 here, which is perhaps right now what we should be shooting for. You know, we're not going to
win. Ten Hag.
Huh?
I believe in Ten Hag. He will do it.
I do too. Yeah, we're not going to win the league this year. You know, I don't think
do it.
Arsenal and or City. I'm frankly, as an aside, I'm amazed what Mikel Arteta has done with Arsenal. That's what a turnaround that is. And I don't know that anyone's going to catch him.
That's a team that believes in itself again, though.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is.
And it's
Yeah.
I mean, Mikey Bandino's not here because he's much. I bow to his knowledge of our youth, but you know, I keep saying we got to stop banging kids out on loan. We got to start, you know, bringing up the youth to Bellingham and showing them we believe in them, giving them a shot. You know, in some of these. Let's the games of Carabao, whatever. Because you know, but psychologically wise, I say when you put someone out on loan, you tell them you don't believe in them. It doesn't. You can discuss business with them. You can say it's better for them. If you stick them out on loan, you're saying like, your future we don't know, and that's what gets in their head as far as I'm concerned. You know, if the kid doesn't get a game, but you put him on the sideline, he's part of it. He's part of it. You know, there's always a story of the underdog who never gets a game, but he gets that one game, whatever. But if you're part of it, you believe in it. When you're playing up in another club, or you're playing down in Bournemouth, and you're on loan from Manchester United. Big deal. It might get you a bit of skirt saying I'm on loan from Manchester United, but it doesn't make you a part of Manchester United. It doesn't make you believe, and that's 99% of the battle. You've got to believe, right?
Yep.
Of course, you've got to have the skill, etc. But every single player for any team successful in the world believes in that, right? They believe in their badge because the badge believes in them.
Yep. Right? You're right. You're right.
And
I hate those songs sung at Stratford End about guys on loan.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
I'm embarrassed that we even talk about loans, like bringing in guys on loans. I don't. Manchester
I'm
United
talking
doesn't
about our boys that we put out on loan.
I feel that too, but we need to keep them home. But I don't even like when we talk about we want to get Joao Felix and loan. No, we buy motherfuckers. We don't rent. Manchester United. We don't rent nobody.
Have players on loan, it shows that we're weak, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
We ain't been managed right.
Our squad
We haven't been managed right.
You know what I mean? Our squad should perform if Martial goes down, you know, whatever. But again, I think all of that aside is I still believe that we've got to shore up that back. You know, no pun intended. We've got to do something at the back there. You know,
that's the coach's label.
I mean, because this is what we've did the last 2 years or so. Is one year we got Odion Ighalo, who was a great player, loved the club, loved the badge, played his heart out, but you know, what was he, 32, 33? And then we got Cavani. And like you said, Pops, in the video a couple of days ago, we got him 5 years too late. So, you know, I'm sick of these, you know, 30s, mid 30s, you know, stopgap players that temporarily, you know, put the Band-Aid over the cancer. It's like, you know, we need to invest money in a proper center forward. And I was just watching another video earlier where they were saying, you know, we just lost Ronaldo, and obviously he wasn't going to play that much, but we're still a player light now. And so at the end of the day, we're a player light. So we need to. And
Martial's fragile.
Martial's fragile. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, that's the question is, you know, somehow, some way, I'm still shocked a couple years later that we got Bruno Fernandes over the line in January. So if we really want to, we can be done. It can be done. But the thing is, and I'm with Ten Hag on this, is we're not just going to buy a player just because they're available. We should buy somebody that fits Ten Hag's system. And I think that's, you know, what he wants is, like I said, he wants a player that's going to fit to his system. So the question is like, who's available in January that fits into Ten Hag's system. It appears to be Joao Felix, Goncalo Ramos, or the Enzo Fernandez kid, but I don't think he's a forward. I think he's a midfielder or something like that. So, I feel like that's the toughest part of the January window is who's available, because there's not many clubs or players that are going to want to leave their club in the middle of the season unless they're bottom of the league, in which case we probably wouldn't want their guys anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take an attacking midfielder.
I mean, that's the thing. And one of the things that we talked about the other day, Pops, in our video is in this day and age, because we've seen City win the league on multiple occasions without an out and out number 9, is do we need a number 9, or can we depend on, our
but they had Aguero. They had Aguero back then, who was a phenomenal goal scorer. Yeah. And more importantly, probably they had David Silva, who can make so many things happen. And if you got that combination, Aguero was not a number 9, but the guy had an eye for a goal. There's no question.
And De Bruyne can just make a play happen out of nowhere.
I'm so glad you two gentlemen said those two players. Goes into my film I just put in a couple of films ago about moving Jadon Sancho to the Mazzella, that midfielder that has the option to go in and out and go attack on the wings, in similar form as Kevin De Bruyne and De Silva. We should convert Jadon Sancho to that player because he's better in space to go both ways. If we put him on the wing, he gets lost because he doesn't have options.
Yeah,
Nacho on the wing, Rashi and all that, but Sancho as this Mazzella that starts in the wing and he comes into the middle and makes his diamond with Bruno and Eriksen and Casemiro as the base. Oh, we will destroy teams.
How many times you heard me at a game when we're watching the game screaming at the TV about where's the old days of the Scholes Unibutty coming up the middle for a square ball for a attacking midfielder? It's just the space is there. It's like a big hole waiting. And United, it's like we don't take a shot from outside the box for 4 years. It's simple. I mean, it's like, okay, I say it. I mean, my you put me on a pitch at Old Trafford, I give you 200% of shit. But it's simple football, schoolboy football. Whether you're our man's age, my age, your age, one touch football, let the ball do the work for you, move it around, make the space, and have the player run in the space. Bang. It's. I mean, obviously, it's got to be put together and need talent, but it's that simple. And we keep thinking about a centre forward and we've got to start from the back, move forward, play attacking football like Manchester United, and our midfield is sadly lacking in the attacking aspect. And we've got to do something at the back. I like the way we brought Scott in. I love the way McTominay and the boys at the back performed. Without Maguire the other day. And I think we've got to start from there because we've got to stop letting goals in, right? And obviously we've got to take our chances better. But when we don't take our chances, the problem is we're letting goals in behind us. And what we can do if De Gea goes down, right? I mean, that keeper had me nervous as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dubravka. Yeah, he had some shaky moments. Definitely, we were at the pub going like, "Oh God."
Those shaky moments get punished. Now, look at France in the World Cup. They didn't play very good football. It wasn't very interesting football, and there were some great games in the World Cup. But they got to the bloody final.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And they still scored 3. They were playing shit, but they took their chances when they got them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Mbappe did.
Yeah. Well, which brings me to a point.
Imagine that imagine getting a hat trick at the World Cup and being a loser.
I know.
Hey, Pops. Hey, Pops.
Yeah.
Do you rate Mbappe?
I do. I do actually. He's fast. He's tricky, and he knows how to score goals.
Do you remember anybody getting a hat trick in a World Cup in your lifetime? Because I don't think I do.
Well, Jeff Hurst in '66, but
that's not my lifetime, mate. I'm a couple of years behind you.
You're a couple of years younger than me. The last time we did any good.
Exactly. Yeah. My old man blames me.
Pops, would you have
bloody born?
Would you have Mbappe at United?
Yes, I would.
Even for
let me back up there. I don't know. It would be worth what we would have to pay.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if we could get him, but you wouldn't get him for a deal at all, anywhere close to a deal. So probably not. But it's probably a $300 million deal for that guy.
It's impossible to match that deal that PSG is giving him.
You can't
impossible to match that.
that. You
Yeah.
can't buy Messi, you can't buy Mbappe.
I don't
So
want a player that's bigger than the
I
club.
would love him, but if we brought him through the ranks, yeah, but no, to buy him, no, not worth it.
Well,
Yeah,
unless we do what City did with Holland, but which wait for his contract to run out and then get him on a free. But I mean, they still paid like 60-something million pounds for him. But Mbappe just renewed his new contract and bought half of fucking PSG with it. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, obviously, I think I would love Mbappe at United too, but the cost that we'd be paying for him,
No, the rest of the team would suffer.
yeah.
And that brings that dynamic into it. Of the rest of the dressing room gets jealous.
Sure.
Why
look,
is
look at Liverpool. Look at Liverpool, what they did to keep Salah, and then look at how they performed after the other guy was gone.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
part of the deal there too, I firmly believe, is that they got rid of what's his name,
Mane.
Yeah.
Mane, and I think that he was a bigger deal than they really realized.
Be like getting rid of Dwight, right? Yorkie, right? And getting rid of and keeping Cole. Do you know what I mean? It's like you just don't work. Again, it's a team. It's a team dynamic. I mean, but he's a great player. But you know what? I don't want him. He'd be too big for Manchester United. I want a player that's as big as the club because he's part of the club. Right, like Rashford, he's developing in. Apart from just again, I tip my hat to him for what a young man and what a stellar guy he is off the pitch. I mean, I think what he puts up with and what he's doing for underprivileged youth is fantastic. I mean, he deserves a knighthood, not an IBE. But you see it on the pitch too. Now he's kind of gotten through that little stressful time. I think that the Greenwood issue was really playing on him because they were mates and it was affecting him a lot. I think the press, obviously, I wasn't aware too much of the press living out here, but I'm sure that it was just they were.
And what about scoring a worldly from the right side, Marcus Rashford? What are you showing us?
The World Cup too. So
What are you showing?
That's what I want to see. I want to see like the class '92. Those boys became as big as Manchester United, part of Manchester United forever. And that's what I think. I think Ten Hag can do that. I think he's got the leadership. And again, he's not been with us very long. So what we have a tendency as football fans, especially United fans. We want it now. I want it now. It's like it's and it's not going to happen now.
Like a flog a dead horse. But I said to Patch, it's going to take 2 or 3 years.
Easy, at least.
Easy, and you got to spend some money and you got to be smart. And
that's outside of the rebuild of a stadium and then everything else. And keeping sponsors. Don't forget.
That's another topic.
Well, it's hard not to get wrapped up in wanting to just snap our fingers and be like, okay, we're top 4 title challenging team. It's hard to, but again, going back to the Gakpo thing, when you see something like that happen, and it's just like, well, how ambitious are we? It's like, and it's not us. Hopefully the Glazers will be fucked off by the end of the season. Hopefully, in a perfect world, they'd be fucked off now. But for the moment, it's just kind of just kind of grin and bear it and sort of hope for the best.
Do
really.
We know that we made an offer for him?
Well, we know that he was going to join us in the summer, and then that didn't happen for whatever reason. And then
an offer, because I mean, as I read it, I don't know that we have made an offer for him.
For who?
Gakpo.
No, we haven't. We've dilly-dallied. We haven't put in an offer for him. There's been a lot of speculation, but we haven't formally made an offer.
Yeah.
Liverpool made an offer. That's why PSV put it on their site.
Well,
I'm kind of wondering.
I really thinks wants to have him at all.
If we didn't make an offer, there's no money. And I also have been saying since we started this is that, guys, that the only way to avoid an ulcer when you support United is to not believe the rumors, not to listen to, because it's every week there's something. Next week it'll be your man's going to sign for him. But I think
I just always said we have no money.
Right, but
I've always said we're broke.
Right, but they're always talking about us doing this. We're connected with that. It's because it sells papers, it sells news, and everything else. But also, the luxury of the guys who've been following United for since the 90s is that they don't go through the pain and suffering that me and your old man went through growing up. Right, United were not winning everything. So the supporter of today is expecting us to be doing what we were doing since during the Fergie days, which we weren't always doing. I mean, I remember the days I did the '76 FA Cup final in tears, and losing to West Ham, and when Nottingham Forest was a real threat and stuff. So clubs like real estate, they have their cycles too. And
I hear you.
If we get same as American football. I remember when I was watching it as a kid in England, when was it Cowboys? We can't say Cowboys anymore, but Cowboys and Redskins, and then the Cowboys, wasn't it? Right? And I think we've got to be careful that we don't put so much on a new owner that as soon as they come in, we go, oh, well, are we winning? Because it's not going to be that simple,
right. Yeah. Like I said, it's hard not to get gassed up. But I think we're gonna wrap this up now. Final thoughts, Pop. What do you reckon? I mean, what are you hoping for, and where do you see us sort of ending up?
Well, I like we said a few weeks ago, I think we're a real legitimate contender for top four, and that's about what we can hope for this year. We ain't going to win it. I think Arsenal or City are going to win it, but I think we're a real legitimate contender for top four. And whether we get anyone in January, I hope we get someone that fits. If we don't, so be it. We'll look at the summer window.
What do you think about maybe Carabao Cup, or how far we're going to get in the Europa League? You see us getting anything out of this year?
I don't care, that much. Carabao Cup, big deal.
Right.
If we do well, great. If we don't, I'm not that bothered. I'd rather just focus on the league. And the Europa League, I don't give a shit about winning the Europa League. If we don't do well in either of those and we do well in the league, I'm happy with that at this point.
Sure. Final thoughts, fellas? Casey, English?
Go ahead, English.
Hello, go ahead, mate. You're on.
Personally, I feel like we are a contender to win anything with Ten Hag at the reign. I think he's shown he knows how to work with this lineup and adjust it to his liking. I think having people like Casemiro is special. Eriksen is special. I think those two signings alone have made us so much more better than we could possibly imagine. De Gea is showing good form. I truly believe Ten Hag is going to win more than we think. Now, we need to get sold. And if we get sold by summer, I'm gassed.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to do anything in January, gentlemen. I'm sorry. We just don't have the money for it. We got to be honest with ourselves.
Sure.
Liverpool just proved it.
Yeah. English, what do you reckon?
Well, I mean, January, honestly, I don't think we're going to do anything, but I never do. I think January, United just traditionally, whether we have money or not, it's not a January window. We do not tend to do anything in January, and I don't blame anybody. I don't think a mid-season move, unless necessary, is worth it. I think runners up, like I said at the beginning, win the cup, absolutely, like I said at the beginning, and you're right. So as far as I'm concerned, United all the way. You can't keep us down no matter what. So I'm standing by my prediction that I made at the beginning of the season. Glazer's out, Glazer's fucking out, right?
That's right.
Got to do a quick shout out to Martin, geezer called Martin, who's been steady with his comments on our YouTube. Sometimes positive, sometimes not, but always a gentleman. So Martin, cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Keep them coming. I got to do a big one for Market Movement too as well for the ice cream for Christmas and for sorting us out for Bandito's birthday. Cheers, Mark. Love you, mate.
Yeah.
Pops, nice to meet you, son. Hope to have a wet with you and catch up on some old army chat. But
I'll come down to the pub one time.
Look forward to it, mate. Look, real quick, sort of like not off the subject, but just to get your dad's point of view. What do you think? What do you think on Shaw and Ten Hag's use and then not use of him? Because I rate Shaw. I love him.
I think he's good. I think he's a lot fitter than he was. I mean, I think he was a little overweight, frankly, going back a year or two. I think he's gotten leaner and faster. I think he's good. I think he's good.
I agree. You know? I've got a lot of time for the fella. I think that, again,
I think Ten Hag did a great job with him. He got him fit.
I understand, but he's still, again, it's my only concern about, and it's not about against the manager, but it's about you've got to have consistency and you've got to create belief. Yeah, but he's not getting everything.
That didn't hurt us. This team, Luke Shaw didn't hurt us.
In yourself and the team. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, he didn't. He came in. He was vocal about the fact he didn't really rate him. So anyway, it's just I'm asking his old man's opinion.
Yeah.
When does he not rate him? He rates him now.
Right. Well, I didn't ask Ten Hag if he rated him, did he? I asked his old man if he rated him.
Yeah, but you're saying that Ten Hag is not treating him good now.
He's not. I didn't say he's not treating him good. He's not using him as much as I'd like to see. Right? Malassia's getting games. That's what I'm saying. I rate him over Malassia. That's all.
Well, Malacia was resting longer from the World Cup. He just got back. So he played him the whole second half, though.
Rashi.
That shit worked out. He's starting. I guarantee he's starting against Nottingham Forest. I guarantee
You
Luke
say
Shaw
the
starts.
personal slur on Ten Hag, mate. It's just my opinion that Rashi's sure is better.
That's the English thing.
You're getting some more. What's it, what? It's a what? It's a black thing, did you say?
I ain't saying nothing.
You're such an asshole.
All right. On that note, that'll do it for us, guys. 1878 Casuals.
Happy holidays, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
I'll see you tomorrow, Casey.
And you guys, good show.
Like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Share it with your friends. Comment. Let us know who we should get instead of that wanker now, Cody Gakpo. Thanks for watching.
He's not a
See you
wanker.
next
He's a
time.
tosser.
What's that?
I said he's
What'd
not
you
a
say?
wanker. He's a tosser.
That works too.
Right, English?
Yeah, I wank on my right and I toss with my left, mate. So I, mean, I try and
I hope
cover
he
all
has a
bases.
nice running with Casemiro.
All right, guys.
It's a
That'll do it.
regimental thing.
Cheers.